after pro-Trump protesters marched through the halls of Congress.
Everybody stay down! Get down!
House members were told by police to lie on the floor and grab gas masks under their seats.
As we always do here, let's take a look at the symbolism connected with this event, as well as events from the recent past, which prove that this was just one more component of the orchestrated satanic rituals being carried out that are meant to help push the U.S. and the world closer to the formation of the New World Order and the rise of the Antichrist to his position as ruler of the one world government. Let's start with the history connected with the Capitol. Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. was named after the Capitoline Hill, which was one of the 7 hills of Rome. The Capitoline Hill was the site of the temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. Jupiter is the god of the sky and thunder and king of the gods in ancient Roman religion. His Greek counterpart is Zeus. The Capitoline Triad was a group of 3 supreme deities in ancient Roman mythology: Jupiter, the king of gods, Mars, the god of war, and Janus, the two-faced god. Remember the connection of Capitol Hill to these 3 false gods, as we'll come back to them later. This insurrection at the Capitol occurred on January 6, 2021, or 1/6/21, which gives us the numbers 16 and 21. Ancient sources connect the name Capitol to the word kaput, meaning head or summit. The Capitol is the seat of government, and it can also mean chief, dominant one, dome, or crown. The assault on the Capitol on 1/6 then is connected to COVID-19 or coronavirus, since Capitol means crown or corona, and 1/6 becomes 1/9 when the 6 is inverted. The year 2021 is important as well. 21 is 7 plus 7 plus 7 and represents the lightning descending down the tree of life. Previously, we've discussed the fact that Donald Trump represents the 16th Trump Tower tarot card. Notice that the corona, crown, or capital at the top of the 16th or 1/6 tower is being struck by the 21 or 777 lightning from heaven, which is a reference to the lightning descending the tree of life. Lightning from heaven, which is a reference to Luke 10:18 and the Hebrew phrase Barack Obama. In the previous video, we saw an example of this in the F-16 fighter jet from the 115th Fighter Wing Division that crashed in Delta County. Remember, we discussed how the Delta or pyramid symbol means change and is connected to Obama, as well as Trey the Truth's song Time for Change, which utilized the pyramid and all-seeing eye of Horus or Lucifer. It should also be noted that F-16 gives us the number 616, which is found 115, a fragmented manuscript of the New Testament written in Greek on papyrus that gives the number of the beast in Revelation 13:18 as 616, or Chi Iota Stigma. This is the reason the F-16 from the 115th Fighter Wing crashed in Delta County and was connected with the 777 or lightning falling from heaven. Further, January 6, 2021 was also Three Kings Day, Epiphany, or Theophany, which marks the incarnation of God into the infant, Christ. However, since we know that Christmas is actually the celebration of the birth of the pagan sun Helios, Mithra, or Sol Invictus. The January 6th Epiphany could only represent the incarnation of the fallen angel Lucifer into his earthly body. The three kings were also known as wise men or magi. Magi were priests in Zoroastrianism and the earlier religions of the Western Iranians, Persians, or Medians. The word magi means a practitioner of magic, to include astronomy, astrology, alchemy, and other forms of esoteric knowledge. This is where the word magician comes from. In Persia, there is evidence of rituals being performed for the sun god by magi, indicating an assimilation of the worship of Helios and Mithras. Earlier, we spoke about the three false gods connected to the Capitoline Hill, namely Zeus, Mars, and Janus. This connects to the three stars at the top of the logo for the F-16 fighter jet from the 115th Fighter Wing, as well as the three stars on the Tennessee Titans logo that was connected to the bomb that exploded in Nashville on Christmas Day. These three stars are also symbolic of the three unclean spirits that inhabit the Antichrist, false prophet, and the dragon, as found in Revelation chapter 16, verses 13 through 14, which declare, "And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty." Thus, the three kings, or magi. The words nativity, theophany, and epiphany are closely related. Remember, we discussed how on 11/17, which gives us 3 sevens, again a reference to the lightning descending the tree of life, representing the spirit of Lucifer falling from heaven to dwell inside of a human body, a representation of the incarnation of evil. On this day, the Pope liked a picture of Instagram model Natalia Garibaldo, who has 2.4 million followers. The number 2.4 is a reference to 2 fours, or number 44, Barack Obama. It is important to mention that the post she made was captioned, "I can teach you a thing or two," and it was accompanied by a devil's horn emoji. Remember, the Pope is the second beast who rises from the earth, which is found in Revelation chapter 13, verses 11 through 12, which declare, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and he causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." The name Natalia means to be born and points to an incarnation of spirit into the flesh. This is where the word nativity comes from, and it is a reference to Christmas Day as well. This connects Natalia's post and the Pope to the bomb that exploded on Christmas Day 2020 in Nashville, or Serpentsville, Tennessee, which was a reference to the serpent and the fallen angels, or Nephilim giants, who are the serpent seed, searching for a second avenue into heaven, and points to the insurrection or rebellion in heaven. But more on that later. But it is clear that Trump was only playing his part as the 16th Trump Tower tarot card. We mustn't forget that Obama told the world that Trump will become the next president back in 2011 during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, showing you that this was all part of a larger plan from the beginning.
Someone should get to the bottom of that. And I know just the guy to do it. Donald Trump is here tonight. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
Trump was elected in 2016, once again connecting him to the number 16 or 16 in the Trump Tower tarot card. He also owns Trump Tower, which has a restaurant on the 16th floor called 16. Moreover, in 2017, he was placed on the cover of The Economist magazine directly next to the 16th Trump Tower tarot card, with other tarot cards spread out around him. The 16th Trump Tower tarot card is interpreted as meaning sudden disruptive and destructive change. It also represents misery, distress, indigence, adversity, calamity, disgrace, deception, and ruin. It is a card of unforeseen catastrophe. This card is also sometimes called the chaos card, since chaos is often unexpected, quick, and profound.
Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not reflect a true America. This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos.
This orchestrated assault on the Capitol was definitely meant to be sudden, disruptive, distressful, disgraceful, and calamitous. Order out of chaos, the mantra of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, is more accurately translated as out of chaos comes order, and it is a reference to the political apparatus of using staged and managed crisis in an effort to bring about a desired outcome. Satanic occult practitioners of magic, or the Magi, and followers of the Antichrist are pushing the world forward toward the formation of a new world order through the destruction of the old world order. As part of the plan to bring about this new one world government, the United States must be destroyed. General Perner stated as much when he held a press conference on the delivery of vaccines, which he referred to as D-Day, a reference to a military campaign in the beginning of the end.
You have heard me referred to today as D-Day. D-Day was a pivotal turning point in World War II. It was the beginning of the end. D-Day was the beginning of the end, and that's where we are today.
It should be noted that a dramatic assault on the Capitol building takes place in the movie White House Down as a kind of foreshadowing or predictive programming. Take a look at this picture of one of the Trump supporters who is descending a wall in the United States Senate chamber. Pay close attention to the door he is hanging above and the words "Annuit Coeptus" that are engraved above that door. I'll explain their significance in a moment. Remember, this assault on the Capitol occurred on January 6th, or Three Kings Day, 14 days before the transition of power in the United States through the inauguration of Joe Biden at the Capitol building. The month of January is named after the two-faced Roman god Janus, who is the god of beginnings, gates, and transitions. Remember, the U.S. is preparing for a transition of power at the Capitol building. Janus is two-faced, which is symbolic of being duplicitous, deceitful, dishonest, treacherous, disloyal, and false. He is also considered to be a god of time, doorways, and duality. This is why the insurrectionist is hanging above the door as a symbol of the beginning of a revolution. Remember, Janus is one of the three false gods connected with the Capitoline Hill. The words engraved above the door, Annuit Coeptis, can also be found on the back of the dollar bill, and it means favors our undertakings because of its context as a caption above the eye of Horus or Lucifer. This phrase means Lucifer favors our undertakings.
This is not dissent, it's disorder, it's chaos, an assault on the most sacred of American undertakings.
I also want you to notice the linear pattern on the walls. You probably recognize this pattern from the Versace Medusa logo, which coincidentally connects it to last year's Super Bowl performance, which featured Shakira as the Scarlet Whore or Mystery Babylon, and J-Lo and her daughter with their connection to Medusa. This pattern is called a labyrinthine meander or thunder pattern. We know that a thunderbolt is the same as a lightning flash, which connects to the false god Jupiter or Zeus, who is also one of the three gods connected to the Capitoline Hill. The lightning or thunderbolt also connects back to the 777, descending the tree of life, a representation of Lucifer falling from heaven to incarnate his human host. This again represents the epiphany, theophany, or nativity of the three kings or three unclean spirits that will inhabit the Antichrist, the dragon, and false prophet. Interestingly enough, one of the Trump supporters who assaulted the Capitol building and stood in the balcony of the United States Senate chamber was wearing a horned helmet with the labyrinthine meander or thunder pattern drawn on his shoulder. It is clear that he was meant to represent the horned god, Barack. It is important to note that this was only the second time that the capital of the United States has been invaded. The first incident occurred August 14th during the War of 1812. Interestingly enough, Mars, the god of war, is the third and final false god that is connected with the Capitoline Hill. I must mention that the War of 1812 was connected to the Napoleonic Wars and the rider on the white horse, a reference to Revelation 6:2, the coming Antichrist, who is given a corona or crown and a bow and goes forth conquering the world. Historians have called the War of 1812 a second war of independence for the United States, connecting it with the American Revolution of 1776 in the theme of rebellion and revolution.
This is rebellion, it is treason, it is lawlessness, it is unacceptable.
Previously, we've discussed how during the D20 Barack Obama spoke at the American Revolution Museum 76 days before the election as a reference to the American Revolution 1776 and the number 13, which represents rebellion.
Tonight, I want to talk as plainly as I can about the stakes in this election. Because what we do these next 76 days will echo through generations to come.
Further, in a letter written by former President George W. Bush concerning the attack on the Capitol, Bush referred to this event as the insurrection at the Capitol. The word insurrection means a violent uprising against an authority or government, a rebellion or revolution. It is important to note that George W. Bush is the president who sat in the classroom on the morning of September 11th, 2001, reading My Pet Goat as a reference to Satan. You may recall how the teacher had the students read the phrase, "Plane must hit still," out loud, predicting the events of 9/11.
Play.
Yes, play. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must. What word?
Hit.
Yes, hit.
Steal.
Yes, steal.
As we have discussed previously, 9/11 symbolized the destruction of the old world order and the building of the new. The Capitol, capstone or crown, completing the building of this new world order, was symbolically presented to the public by former President Obama when he signed the final beam that was placed at the top of the One World Tower with a red magic marker stating, "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger." This message, written in red magic marker, connects to the scarlet letters left on the computer of the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's desk, a magic spell of 17 capital letters written in red magic marker stated, "We will not back down." This was clearly a continuation of Obama's scarlet letters concerning the rebuilding of the One World Tower of Babel in defiance of God in an effort to reverse Genesis 11:9 and a reference to the insurrection of the fallen angels from heaven who follow Lucifer in his quest to ascend into heaven to exalt his throne above the stars of God. This can be found in Isaiah 14:13. We know that Obama went on to read Psalm 46, declaring himself to be God on 9/11.
Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
And finally, we know that 9/11 represents Revelation 9/11, the rise of the king of the bottomless pit. Remember, in 2012, the Giants defeated the Patriots by the score of 21-17 in Super Bowl 46, which also included the symbolic birth or nativity of number 44, the Nephilim giant, Barack Obama. As we know, the number 21 represents the 777 or lightning flash descending the tree of life, which is symbolic of the epiphany or incarnation of Lucifer into his human host, and the number 17 represents the scarlet whore, Mystery Babylon, who rides the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. This occurred in 2012, which, when the 12 is reversed, points us to this year, 2021, when the Patriots stormed the Capitol because of the defeat of their leader, the 16th Trump, in the District of Columbia, who represents the Virgin Goddess of Childbirth, who is about to inaugurate the 46th President, who was the Vice President to number 44. None of this is coincidence. It is clear then from all of this information that this so-called insurrection and lawlessness at the Capitol is directly connected with the continuing narrative of rebellion and revolution that we have been discussing concerning the intentional destruction of the old world order and the formation of the new, the rebuilding of the Tower of Babel. It also points us towards the coming lawless one, the Antichrist, who will sit at the Capitol, the seat of power or top of the pyramid, as the ruler of the new world order. This is why they made it a point to show you the picture of the insurrectionist hanging above the door, which read Anuit Coeptus, meaning Lucifer favors their undertakings. That being said, it is extremely important that you do not fall for the enemy's lies and deception, nor for his tactics of divide and conquer, pitting left against right, black against white, Democrat against Republican. There is a spiritual war being waged for not only the soul of this nation, but for the very soul of each and every single human being on earth. If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting the blood sacrifice of the Paschal Lamb, Yahushua HaMashiach, which was shed on the cross for the redemption of sins, the time to do so is now. Make a decision and choose a side before it's too late. Amen. Shalom.
Kofi Koos.